Hello, I am Eric Allen Hall,
And I'm Cleopatra Hall.
and today we're going to show you how to do Andorian makeup from Star Trek.
Yay!
And before we get actually started with the makeup, I'm going to show a little bit about the Andorian wig. For this, I just used a white wig. You can find these around Halloween pretty commonly. You can get them online if you just look for like white page boy wig. You can find them. They're fairly inexpensive. This one, I think I found it at a thrift store, so I've had it for quite a while. And there are different ways you can do the antennae. What I used was Crayola air dry modeling clay. And I just sculpted the antennae first. Once I let them dry, it takes about 24 hours for them to completely dry. I drilled some holes in them near the bottom, and you can't really see them because they're covered by a headband. Found a headband at the dollar store. I used a Dremel tool to drill some holes into the headband, and then I used a wood screw to carefully screw into the base of the antennae, and then I carefully unscrewed it so it left a hole there. Once I did that, I used some craft glue like you would use for craft foam, just filled the hole that I made with the screw, and then through the headband I put in the wood screw, screwed it back into the hole I had made before into the base of the antennae, and the hole in the antennae was filled with the craft glue. And I just let it dry for about another 24 hours. I reinforced it a little bit with duct tape here so that when the wig is put on, it stays in place. And then to finish off the antennae that I had molded out of the clay, I just used some of the same makeup that I will use on Cleo's face here. And kind of follow the pattern of a little pink on the inside and the rest of it the blue color. So we're going to set the wig aside for a couple minutes. For makeup for kids, there's a couple different ways you can go. You can use kind of this Halloween style makeup. I tend to stock up after Halloween just to get makeup on clearance. This was 90% off. You can kind of see there, originally $2.99, and I got it for 29 cents. And there are different brands. Here's Ruby's brand, comes in a tube. There are others that come in like a little container with a lid. This one's almost used up. This is a little bit more professional. This is kind of a stage makeup that's applied with water. So just for ease, I'm going to use this. The nice thing about the water applied makeup is that it comes off fairly easily. I'm going to show you a step to use baby powder so it doesn't come off as easily in just a minute. So for this, I am going to use a makeup application sponge. And this originally came from Target, I think. You can get these at the dollar store as well. And they're just little
Sponges thing.
Yeah, little sponges, little triangular sponges. So I'm going to use a little bit of water. And just kind of get it into the sponge. And it's kind of like using watercolors. You just kind of apply it. If you get smears, you can go over it again. And for this, I will probably speed it up on the final video so you don't have to just watch me applying makeup to her face. So it doesn't take very long, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but I'll speed it up a little bit. Okay, that was pretty quick. You'll see I haven't gone all the way down to Cleo's neck. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to go all the way down, but you could go all the way down a little bit below the collar so that you could hide the fact that she's actually a human and not an Andorian. Now, another thing about Andorians are their hair is white. So I've got a little bit of white makeup. This is the same type of white makeup that I use for my Borg and Mr. Data. This is Ben Nye Clown White grease paint. You can also use less expensive cream makeup. This is similar to the blue makeup that I showed you earlier. And actually, I think I'll use this just so it's a little bit easier to clean up. Since we're not going all day, we're not actually doing this for a convention, I'll just use this makeup for demonstration purposes, but for longer term, you'd want to use a grease paint rather than just a cheap cream makeup. And for the application, you can use a Q-tip or a small
eyelash makeup brush.
Yeah, like an eyelash makeup brush. And I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of makeup onto the end of the brush here. And I don't have to do it very thick and heavy. It can just go on top of the previous blue. I have friends who go to the Las Vegas convention who dress as Andorians. If you have facial hair, beard, or mustache, you can kind of do the same thing. Just cover it with white makeup and it'll blend in for the Andorian effect. Okay, one other thing you can do, and I'll do this right now, I am going to apply some baby powder. Cleo, could you hold that for a minute?
Okay.
With a powder brush. Now, you can get more expensive powder that's made specifically to keep makeup on if you'd like. I've always had good luck with just baby powder. I get it at the dollar store, $1 for a big bottle like this, and it lasts for a year or two. I usually put it into a small bag or something. And Cleo, if you want to close your eyes. If you're already wearing your costume, it's a good idea to put like a towel around or something to keep the makeup off the costume. So just kind of lean back a little bit there. Applying the powder helps to set the makeup so it doesn't smear or sweat off as much.
Got my nose.
Sorry, you can blow out your nose. Good job. Also for Andorians, they are kind of a lighter bluish color. Can you close your mouth? Yep. So this helps to give it kind of that color as well.
That might be my nose now.
So we are almost done. Now it's time to put on the wig. And you can see Cleo has longer hair. She's kind of put it back in a little bun. If you'd like, you could use a hairnet. But for our purposes, we're just going to demo it this way. So put on the headband. Bring it down. And there you have an Andorian. Yay!
Yeah.
Now, one other thing I'll mention. Cleo, show them your hands. Hold up a little bit. Uh-oh, what color hands does Cleo have?
I need blue hands.
Now, if you wanted to, you could apply makeup to the hands, but especially on the palms, it's going to wear off. If you're eating food or you use the restroom and you need to wash your hands, it makes it difficult because it comes off fairly easily. So, if you go to the dollar store, you can use gloves. And these gloves are a different shade of blue than the one that we use. I have some other gloves that more closely match. But this way, if you're posing for photos or you're in a costume contest or something, it makes it really easy to take the gloves off if you want to eat, or if you use the restroom and you need to wash your hands, anything like that. Just slip the gloves back on, and then you will have a more complete Andorian effect. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, after you have been an Andorian and it's time to take the makeup off, I'll show you that as well. Most drugstores, places like Target, Walmart, things like that, will have some type of makeup removal wipes. And I love these. I use these for my Borg and Mr. Data and other costumes that I do as well. And Cliff, close your eyes. And you just rub, and the makeup will come right off, even if you've used the powder. Now if you're doing something dark like blue for an Andorian, or if you're doing green if you're doing an Orion or something like that, you might have to use a couple of wipes. And it's a good idea to wash your face with soap and water as well afterwards. But with this water applied makeup that I demonstrated earlier, it comes off fairly easily. Just kind of doing this in real time. So there's about half of the makeup off. And again, washing with soap and water afterwards is a good idea as well.
Bye.
So anything you'd like to add, Cleo?
This was fun.
All right. Live long and prosper.